Jamaica, make we do the right thing. Make we live good today for a better tomorrow. Talk it out. Don't fight it out. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6:30.
A six-person debate on Tuesday night it was, three members of the JLP, three members of the PNP, debating matters concerning the economy. It all went down at CPTC, and you have had a lot to say post-debate about the winners and losers, best debaters, worst debaters. Some of you even found time to talk about time. Well, we do some analysis today on how the debate tracked and how both sides handled the questions posed to them by the two journalists working the show on Tuesday. This is Lead Story. It's Wednesday. Let's start the show. My director is a great guy. I thought he was going to play the theme for the whole show. But hey, here we are. Good evening. My name is George Davis. This is Lead Story. It's Wednesday. It's the day after the night before when Julian Robinson, Peter Bunting and Keisha Anderson stepped forward to face the governing pair of Chris Tufton, Dana Morris-Dixon and the Finance Minister Favour Williams in the debate on the economy. Among the questions posed to the PNP, as expected, how would they fund their 3.5 promise? That promise to lift the income tax threshold to $3.5 million, the cost implications of it, and whether or not it could be done in the current context, given where the economy and the country is and the state of the fiscal accounts. So, how did Julian Robinson handle that question?
The PNP has promised to move the income tax threshold to $3.5 million starting April 2026 without any new taxes. How much will it cost? Is the timeline realistic, and which programs will be adjusted to accommodate the increase?
Thank you for that question, Andrew. We are committed to implementing the 3.5 threshold starting April 2026. This will be funded from revenue growth, which currently, based on the 1% growth, is projected to generate an additional revenue of $140 billion over a 3-year period. Additionally, we expect within the envelope that exists in the budget has 4 main components. You have debt servicing, you have salaries and wages, you have the capital budget, and then you have the programmatic budget. As a political party, we would have our own priorities, and we will look at the programmatic budget and make adjustments there. But we will begin implementing the 3.5 million threshold April 2026. However, there are other programs that we have announced that once we assume office, we will immediately, within the envelope that exists for programs, see how we will implement them. For example, ensuring that every needy child gets a hot meal per day. The first in family who goes to university to have a full scholarship. And also the $500,000 grant, which will be given to young first-time owners. So we are going to ensure that we do this in a responsible way fiscally without affecting the budget.
Thank you, Team PNP. Thank you, Team JLP. Your rebuttal.
Lies, lies, lies. It cannot be done without imposing new taxes on the backs of Jamaicans. Your 3.5 is the biggest political scam since the history of Jamaica. It cannot be done. You were the people who said when we introduced the 1.5 that it couldn't be done. It would wreck the budget. How do you get from 1.5 to 3.5? It's 3.5 now, right? It used to be 2.3, 3.2, all over the place. Can't be done.
Right, so numbers, and numbers. It's a good time to introduce my panel. Titania Clark, former G2K Vice President and a prominent member of the JLP's communications machinery, is here. And beside her is Corv da Costa. He says, they say he is a PNP strategist. And I said, I didn't say, Corv, well, what do you say you are? But we'll work with PNP strategists for the moment. After the break, I'll get their perspectives on what went down at the CPT studios on Tuesday.
Millions of people are attacked by harmful mouth bacteria. The root cause of bad breath, gum problems, cavities, plaque, and tartar. That's why Colgate combined the best science and technology in Colgate Total. Unlike others, its superior formula fights bacteria and creates a powerful protective barrier for up to 24 hours to prevent them from coming back. Take control of your oral health with Colgate Total.
The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The Jamaica Labour Party is doing more for you and your pocket. No new taxes in 8 years. We have created over 250,000 new jobs. That's more Jamaicans working than ever before. Across every industry, we have delivered real progress, real performance, not just promises. We're doing more for you, and we're not done yet. Choose results you can count on. Put your X beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
And that's what you love to see. They may be rivals, but the camaraderie is what it's all about. Can't wait for the final.
Titania Clark and Corv da Costa are my guests, so let's get cracking. Titania, from the perspective of Team JLP, how they handled what was thrown at them, how the entire debate went, just give me your perspectives on Tuesday night.
Well, the perspective is we continue to run a steady election campaign. We're not doing the blood and fire. We're not doing the aggression. We're not pointing and shouting at the Jamaican people. We're laying the facts on the table, and we are respectfully and appropriately saying, choose the Jamaica Labour Party. And that has been the debate for us. You know, it depends on the context and the energy that you're going for, but we wanted to lay the facts on the table, and we wanted to appeal to the logical, the well-thinking, the Jamaicans who understand that it's not just vibes-run government. It's people who know what they're doing, and the technocrats, not just the ministers, but actual technocrats who would have put these presentations, the manifesto, assisted in making that a reality.
Corv, Team PNP came with a big assignment. That assignment was to convince Jamaicans how the 3.5 would work. Do you think they nailed it?
I think the PNP did what they needed to do last night. You're seeing the culmination of 2 years of work by the People's National Party. They are showing up to these debates a lot more confident. They're assured in themselves and the manifesto ideas that they're putting forward. I think it's up to Jamaicans to really look at both ideas from two sides, and I think this is, as Bunting said, this is a groundbreaking idea by the PNP, and I think people are warming up to it. Yeah,
how groundbreaking would you say that is, Titania, when your party is the one who gave us 1.5 when nobody was talking about raising the income tax threshold at that time, and then has added on some increments to that 1.5. So would you agree with Corv and Peter Bunting from Tuesday night that 3.5 is groundbreaking, it's revolutionary?
I don't think it's groundbreaking. Definitely don't think it's revolutionary. I think it's reckless. And it is the season that I believe the PNP has been spending the last 2 years in being reckless. And, you know, it's funny. Soon and very soon you'll hear it. One of the debaters last night from the People's National Party in Parliament had said during election season they just make reckless promises and hope that it sticks. And I think this is one of them. And so, you know, going back to what is it that we're trying to achieve? What are we taking to the Jamaica people? We are taking a steady hand on the economy, a government that believes that we can get a lot of things done, but we can only get it done once we are firm and solid and we know where we're going and we're building on the progress that we've made. We can't just make, as much as it would sound good and feel good to say these grand things, when push comes to shove. Can it be done? Will it be done? And who do you trust to get it done?
I invite you to push back on that analysis.
There's so much legislative work that has gone into the financial structure of our country, and I don't think we'll ever go back to days where our economy is on the brink of collapse. And I feel coming off of Dr. Phillips's work in the last PNP administration, you're actually seeing political parties push the envelope. And now the PNP administration, who understands where they need to take the country, is saying, we're going to push it a little bit more to inspire growth, to inspire a real shift for people to actualize hope and dreams as the debate tried to capture last night.
But let me ask you, and this emerged to me as I sat in my chair as a non-combatant on Tuesday. If you're pushing the envelope up to 3.5 and you have so many pledges, some people say promises, the PNP insists that we're making pledges to give back here, to spend there, to spend huge sums there, then that presupposes then, Corv, that the economy is strong for you to be able to do that.
But the economy was strong after Dr. Phillips's work.
Oh?
Interesting.
To be honest, that last PNP administration was very conservative. Dr. Phillips was really building and setting the platform for this growth we're experiencing now. So it's up to the political directorate. And I think Julian Robinson showed up as the next finance minister last night. He was confident when he needed to be. And he's going to really have to put the work in to really get the results, or to get greater results out of the economy. Because the way the country is going right now, 1%, point something, it's not real growth.
Okay, so I'd like to push back on that, right? So again, going back to the talking points of the People's National Party, we're going to talk candidate by candidate. Pretty speaking, don't bring it into Parliament, right? We would have seen that when Damian Crawford lost in East Portland.
Yes, in post by-election,
and so saying and being very grand and verbose about Julian Robinson speaking very confidently about being the next Minister of Finance. Let's go back to all his budget presentations. It was a snooze fest. Does that mean that he's not competent? No. What we are saying is we want Jamaicans to look at a broader picture. We cannot just use charisma of being loud and aggressive in language to determine whether or not you're a professional, or else Damian would have a seat right now.
But let me ask you straight, Titania. Was your side bullied by Robinson Bunting last night?
Bullied? No. What we did was allow the Jamaican people to see the aggressive blood and fire that they're pushing. And it goes back to who do you believe will have a steady hand?
And a quick fire one for Corv before the break. Do you believe the PNP was big on bluster but short on substance on Tuesday?
Absolutely not. They were... Listen, these debates are for the base of the party. I'm talking to people every day. I'm just off the phone before coming here, and the comrades are looking at these debates and saying, we love where the party is taking us.
And that's the problem.
And no, it's not the problem.
It is the problem, because if you believe that it's only the base that you should be speaking to as a political party, then that's a problem. Because Jamaica is not just PNP and JLP. Jamaica is for all of us, the people who can believe and see a political electorate that believes in the passion and Jamaica, not just PNP. So if Julian is only speaking to PNP, then Jamaica, we have a problem.
Absolutely.
And I guarantee you, when you choose Jamaica,
time for a break. Time for a break. Let's take the break and come right back. This is Lead Story CVM TV Wednesday style.
Jamaica is paving the way to becoming a republic or future or choice. The time by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs is
6:45. The following is a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
The Jamaica Labour Party is doing more for your safety. Over the past 9 years, we've delivered the lowest murder rate in 30 years. We've strengthened our police force, and we've delivered landmark programs like the first government-run domestic violence shelters. The JLP is doing more for you, and we're not done yet. Proven results means peace of mind. Choose a safer Jamaica. Put your X beside the bell.
The proceeding was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Labour Party.
I'm Giovanni Dennis, and this is CVM News.
The Jamaica Debates Commission presents the General Elections Debates in association with Scotiabank, For Ever Future, Kendall, The Taste of Quality, Flow, NCB, ARC Manufacturing, Water, JN Group, Lasco Foundation, Pan Jamaica Group, Miss Birdie, H&L Homes, and VM Group. See the leaders' debate between the two major political parties live August 28 at 9 p.m. It's a political must-see. Don't miss the General Elections Debates presented by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Watch, listen, decide, vote.
All right, so we're on TikTok, and I'm seeing a question here from Joe. Policies often target low-income earners, while high-income earners are generally believed to be able to manage on their own. What in your plans directly supports middle-income Jamaicans who are caught in the squeeze?
Team PNP. So the contrast between the JLP's approach of reducing the income tax rate for everyone versus the PNP's approach of lifting the threshold is a prime example of that. The cabinet ministers and the prime ministers will benefit the most from the reduction in the rate of income tax. Police officers, nurses, doctors, security guards, public servants, those who are at the rank and file of the police level, everyone who earns under 3.5 million will be the major beneficiaries of our program. That is what differentiates our approach from theirs. They talk about prosperity. It's prosperity for them and their cronies. When we talk about putting people at the center of our policies and programs, it's because we want to lift everyone. We want to lift those at the bottom. We want to build out the middle class. We want education to become a bridge from one generation to another to move them to another level in society.
And we will continue to lift the standards of the majority of the Jamaican people. The income tax threshold, we're going to remove tax on overtime so that our security guards, our nurses will get a break and you put more money in their pockets.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson. Team JLP.
The PNP does not understand how the economy works. First of all, they talk about our performance. Our performance we're very proud of. We created the lowest poverty rate in the country on record. We created more jobs with more participation in the economy on record. And while we're doing that, we are building out new industries in digital technology, in our port facilities, for logistics hub, as well as maintaining and building on the traditional industries that are there. Most persons in Jamaica today, young persons who have a skill, can find a job. That was not the case under the People's National Party. And I want to just come back to this issue of corruption, because they seem to think that they can speak about things in mid-air without any evidence, innuendos and suppositions, as if people are going to accept that. What the Jamaican people want is who is going to look after them, who will bring down crime. Peter Bunting depended on divine intervention without work. In fact, he is on record, I believe, as the only Minister of National Security who was unable to secure himself. And I am happy he's okay from that unfortunate incident in Portland. But it speaks to confidence in their policy to reduce crime. This government has reduced crime by the lowest over 30 years. And this is what Jamaicans want. They felt unsafe under the PNP. They feel a lot safer under the Jamaica Labour Party.
Mr. Tufton.
Right. So let me ask you then, let's start with Corv. Your assessment of how Team PNP handled that question and how the JLP handled the question.
All right. So what you saw moments ago was clinical PNP in terms of how they structure policy in government. And I'm so happy it's still the same for this manifesto because they're trying or they're aiming to put people at the center of development. Where disability is concerned, where the creative economy is concerned, and as Bunting was communicating about this 3.5 plan.
Titania.
So, Corp, your response just now is like how Bunting would have replied to that question because he didn't answer what he asked, right? Again, while you're putting people at the center, we need to move to an economy where people work for what they want and they work to earn. We are saying, and admittedly, Bunting said cabinet and prime minister, so he's admitting that he won't be a cabinet minister. He obviously won't be earning to get that the percentage that we're looking at. What we are saying to the Jamaican people, yes, it's okay to have people at the center, and we acknowledge that a lot of the ideas that the PNP have, it's grand, and it sounds good, and it feels good, but is it the reality of the day?
But
if it is that you can, and we're talking about rank and file, the public sector reform is public knowledge on the Ministry of Finance website. I encourage everyone, do not be gaslighted by the PNP. Go and look at the salaries. Look at who would be earning 3.5 and less. A rank and file police officer does not earn less than $3.5 million. So let us not be fooled by the language that is used. Educate yourselves. It's not just about vibes, and we need to move away from that politics. Put the process and the policies on the table. Have the Jamaican people make conscious decisions.
But hold on.
You were saying, Corv, right?
You answer the question just like the Team JLP did. Because instead of giving practical, the question was, how will you build out the middle class? Because they're getting a squeeze. Team JLP fell down on identifying their big policy shifts that will anchor the middle class, or people are feeling that squeeze in the next administration. And the PNP comes back to every plan in a manifesto. And I found that Team JLP, every time they were looking back at 18 years, back at the previous 9 years, and not really pushing forward on where they've taken us and where they're going. Politics is about the future.
Is that what happened, Titania?
No, but then I'm confused, because if it is that it is about the future, how did we make mention of Peter Phillips? We are looking at the achievements that we have. The achievements that we have, new hospitals being built. We have an economy that is stable. We have crime, we have a crime rate now that is reduced. We have people who are able to say that they are accessing skills, as as Christopher Tufton said on the stage. So while it is grand to speak about, let's not say, look in the past, because Keisha said 30 years ago is not important when she's speaking about FinSAC. I guess my grandparents would have something different to say, speaking about your base. But we have to be mindful that we cannot make the negligence and the bad management that happened years ago into the future. And we're saying, stick with us.
Hear me now. Okay. So, Corv, overall, what you've seen from PNP in the two debates, you think the base is pleased, the party is satisfied with how the debaters acquitted themselves?
George, the base, I like to describe the base as ants' nest. You see, not touch ants, and you just see everybody, that's the energy on the ground from these two debates. Every comrade is in the street today saying, yes, you watch the debate,
yes.
you see how my man do it.
Yes.
They're looking at these performances and going, I love to see the fight that they're bringing to Team JLP, and they're really experiencing a really heightened election season.
And your team in the 2 debates so far, what effect or impact would their performance have had on their core support and others?
So my team is tag teaming. Last night at the debates, we had the debates and we had Minister Tufton there, but we had our party leader in St. Mary. So we are literally focusing on not just the base, but the nation. And so we are saying to people, get a manifesto book, get our achievements book, read it, feel it for yourselves. It's not just about vibes, and we're not bringing blood and we're not bringing the fire to you. We are bringing your intelligence. We're appealing to your children that you're sending to school. We want them to use the education that you are providing and the government is assisting to provide to make conscious decisions, and that's why we're asking you to choose Jamaica.
Hear you on that. So on Thursday, if this was Sound Clash style, they'd call it the settlement of all argument. Andrew Holness in one corner, Mark Golding in the other corner for 90 minutes, mano to mano, face off at CPTC. The questioners, CVM's Giovanni Dennis and his longtime friend Dion Jackson Miller, will be the 2 questioners. Archibald Gordon will be in the moderator's chair, and it should be made for grand viewing. It's going to be live here on CVM TV from 9 p.m. So, who you have? You work with Marky G, or you say 1 p.m.? That's my time.
The Jamaica Debates Commission presents the General Elections Debates in association with